Hey, hello. Harold here. Thanks for tuning in. Gato, come over here. Gato, come. Round, round. So, this video, something I've been realizing that to me is obvious coming from a martial arts background. But if you're someone that just have come through fitness, through lifting weights, or doing something more like just running, or even a team-based sport like baseball or basketball, you may not necessarily come innate with this framework of exercising. So what do I mean by that? A lot of times, let's say you're working with a trainer or a coach getting into something, you work with them, you get in shape, you're a lot better, and then, life happens. Be it that you just had a baby, at work, you have to move, whatever, money, you lost your job, or you got a new job, you got to move everything, makes it disrupt your lifestyle. And the first thing that typically goes is fitness, right? But for me, even at my most out of shape, I'm kind of technically in shape, at least the best I can, because I have a structure, a flow. And if you meet people who do martial arts, this is very typical, I would say. Martial artists are people who seem to be very, very disciplined, because coming from karate, you're doing the same thing over and over again, and often the practices seem boring. From, like, I would say, for how people think normally, how fitness gyms are today, even martial arts studios are run, the typical karate framework isn't used as much. But I learned that way, and so practically, what do I mean? Let's say you're doing horse stance again and again and again, and this, and the basic punches, straight punches. And a lot of people just say, that's nonsense. That doesn't work in a fight. Of course it doesn't work in a fight. But that form of training is essential, and it's a foundational block to build upon more complex structures. So, what do I mean by that? Looking at it from this example right here of the horse stance. You have a new person. Their body, they're not used to using their strength like that. They do 5 squats, you're exhausted, or you're going to be super sore the next day. But every time you're doing horse stance, you're getting stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger. Then you can do it deeper. You can practice it with punches. You can practice it with blocks. Then later, obviously, then you have like the stances, different ones, combining them with different strikes and moving, and then with stopping takedowns and things like that. Like then you're picking things up, right? If I'm going for a takedown or something, a lot of times I have to squat properly, pick things up. See, now the more I do those things, those other motions become smooth and natural. You're building frameworks. So if I'm going too far out there, to tie in the idea again, I learned how to train. I learned how to build up the body from scratch to build proficiencies in certain skills. Because if I could do this properly, now I can start doing things like the front kick properly. I can't do that. Well, you have, again, the basic things you have to build upon. And the idea, when people train karate, is the sensei, the person who came before, they pass down knowledge from before, and they give it to you, you carry it on. So you should presumably know what they know and be able to teach it and move it forward. Not everybody becomes a teacher, obviously, it's a skill. But what I'm trying to highlight, it's not this idea that you have to keep working with this person forever, and the moment you let them go, let's say you start all over. Like, no. By the time you reach black belt, you are equal to all the other black belts. You know what they know. You know all those structures now. So a lot of people, again, thanks to I think the psyops of modern society, you don't know fitness really. You don't know how to work out. People who devote themselves to martial arts, they actually devote themselves to fitness. How more so than people who just lift weights. Why? Because you're learning to punish things, to break things, but it comes to through understanding of your own body and understanding your body mechanics and how to control it, particularly to you. That be it in balance, control. What I mean by balance, simple things like it could be just standing on one leg, or right, holding your leg out and keeping it there, things like that. Knowing your stance, smooth, being able to do things without getting tired, and actually making it efficient, right? Compared to like, well, again, what happens when you're just lifting weights? Okay, you do it, but what happens when you don't have a gym? What happens, what I said before, your lifestyle changes. But the martial arts is not like that. Right. The martial arts, you can train it anywhere because it's more than your physical body. Yes, you're using that as an anchor through these skills, but they're used for a lot of things. And ironically, the serious martial artist, I think, is a high magician. Because you can take something destructive to break and use it to heal. These things teach people, again, you overcome injuries, negative mindsets. When you get hurt, I mean, I've gone through it already with the knee injuries. Well, I know how to rebuild my body from scratch. And that's how I went approach it when I had with my knee injury. I cannot walk. I am like an old man. I got to start step by step by step. And that's how I took it. Took structure, created a framework, and progressed up until the point that, again, now I can squat, I can lunge. And not too long ago, I was walking like this. And thought, and the experts told me it's going to be forever. So, again, the point of this is like, how do you, the individual, have the framework to always keep yourself in shape, to always be in good health and doing what you like to do? That is about having the right structure, creating the right frameworks, not just training. If you're just going, showing up, and you just train, you did a good workout, but they're not teaching you the purpose of this, why, what it develops, how it helps you into the future, and how you can make complex things simple. That's a big difference between martial arts and, I would say, just weightlifting. So I think about that. I hope you found it valuable. I really want to put out more content. And I want to hear your feedback on this, especially if I'm communicating clearly, if it makes sense. And that motivates me to do better, get a higher output. And that's the point of this. I'm trying to make myself better, right? But then I'm like, man, how am I gonna just make myself better? Really? It's step by step. And what can I do? Helping others. And by helping others and igniting their spark, my spark ignites further. Let it just be me. All right, so it's an invitation for everyone to think that way. Share your thoughts, do it. Let's create structure. I've been playing that game, see, structure. All right, thank you guys. Take care. Us.